I'm going around to all the UK supermarkets to see what you can buy for £5 in 2024. This week, I'm heading to the national giant that is Tesco. As usual, there are a couple of rules. I've got to buy protein, I've got to buy a sweet treat, and I've got to have leftovers. It's dark and I'm sweaty, so you're not going to get to see much of me. Honestly, going into this, I was pleasantly surprised, as even without a club card, you can buy a lot. Tesco allow you to buy individual fruit and veg, so I picked up quite a bit of that. Rather than meat, I went for eggs as my protein because there's so much I could do with them, and I also got myself this tin of chickpeas, so immediately that's protein ticked off the list. I also got myself some oats, as you guys always tell me to get oats, and I knew there would definitely be some left over. Bang on £5. We did it. Anyway, I went shopping at night, so I brought everything home and I unpacked it the following morning. And then it was time to make my breakfast. It's actually a pretty good haul. Breakfast was great. It was something I haven't had in ages, so buying those oats was actually a really great idea. For breakfast, I had porridge, plain old porridge. Had a banana on it as well, so I cut my banana up. Just put in the amount of oats that it told me to put in, topped that up with water. Now I did use a tiny splash of milk, but as I said last time, everything I buy is the main ingredients. I can use what I want to zhuzh it up a little bit. As long as it's in my pantry, then it's fair game. Once that cooked up, I mean, I will say I had to add a fair few extra oats because I followed the portions and the amount of water or just liquid that it wanted. I had to just freehand pour a load more oats in because otherwise it would have been a really watery porridge. But Caroline had some anyway, and I just topped it with some banana and some golden syrup, and Bob's your uncle. It was lovely. I used to have porridge like every day. There was a long time where I had like those Quaker Oats packages of porridge every day, but I don't know, I just kind of stopped. But now that I've got these oats, now that I've got loads of them, I think I'm going to continue to have porridge. I'm sure a lot of you do porridge in the microwave, but this is my kitchen. I do not own a microwave. I haven't owned a microwave in 2 years. Am I crazy? Maybe. A microwave to me is like you warm up your soup and your baked beans and maybe some porridge in there. That is literally it. Lunchtime, I was excited for lunch. I was really excited for lunch because I got to make my own hummus. So that's what I did. I just drained out some of the chickpeas, or not some of the chickpeas, I drained out all of the chickpeas. And I just added them into my small blender, my zhuzher. I like to call it a zhuzher. I don't know, just, yeah, it zhuzhes them up a little bit. It just like zhuzh. That's a zhuzh. So it zhuzhes them. Anyway. Little bit of salt, little bit of paprika, little bit of cumin, bit of lemon juice, and then a few big glugs of olive oil. Blitz that all up, and yeah, you've just got the creamiest, nicest hummus, which you don't need tahini. Why do you need tahini? Tahini costs like £5. I made this for practically nothing, so, and you get so much out of it. I took that red pepper that I had, cut a few bits off it, roasted them up, whacked them in the blender to make this red pepper hummus, which was to die for. It was definitely better than the normal one. I think I'm just a big fan of red pepper hummus, but yeah, it was really yummy. Put a couple of pittas into the toaster and just cut them up with it, and that's how I had the hummus. You know, I think that was a really solid lunch. There's been many a days back in my single can't be bothered to cook days when I just have pitta and hummus for dinner. It's a great dinner, if you ask me. Great dinner. Here, really good lunch. Really good lunch. And the best thing, there was some left over. I could have eaten all that hummus. I really could have eaten all that hummus, but I tried to be really conservative with it, so I have some hummus left over. There's a tick. There's a tick on one of our challenges. We have hummus left over. I put it in the fridge. Hummus keeps like 4 to 5 days in the fridge if stored correctly, and I promise you that is going to get eaten so quickly, but heck, that's already a leftover. Following this, so it's time for my sweet treat. Now you might notice I didn't buy a sweet treat because I thought I'm going to use my oats, going to get an extra thing out of them, and I'm going to make a 3-ingredient flapjack that I saw on TikTok. Bit of butter, melt that down with a big glug of golden syrup. Luckily I had both of those already, and then pour in like 500 grams of oats. Then you put it in the oven after you're patting it down in a little baking tray. Whack it in the oven, sort of 25 minutes or so. But I figured I'm not gonna go straight in for it, so I'll let them cool while I take a dog walk. Speaking of, do you want to see how excited this puppy gets when we go for a walk? Sure you do. Are you ready? Sit down. Sit down. One crazy walk later, I came back, I tried to cut them up, and as soon as I took them out of the pan, they started to crumble, like crumble a lot. So yeah, we get the odd fail on this channel. Obviously we get the odd fail. It's fine, it is what it is. I then did read that you can refrigerate them, and refrigerating them does apparently kind of help with solidifying them and then cutting them up. Thought we'd come back to them maybe after dinner, something like that, and hope for the best. I was having some suspicions at this point that maybe I didn't use enough golden syrup to bind it all together, but yeah, I did try a little bit. It tasted all right. Now comes dinner time. My favourite time of the day. I love dinner. Love dinner. I thought I'd make sweet potato hash. I had eggs, I had onions, a bit of red pepper left over, had that sweet potato that I bought. So just kind of chuck them all in together in a nice little pan. Crack in all of the eggs, bit of cheese, steam that all up together. I think it came out really nice, to be honest. I love a kind of hash. It was really, really tasty. I'm a huge fan of sweet potato. I don't have it anywhere near as much as I wish I did. So yeah, this was a truly, truly great dinner. Now I could have done more with the eggs.
So much I could do with them.
I was thinking maybe I'd make an omelette on the side of the hash, which could have been a good idea. But, you know, I just decided to crack the eggs into it instead, because then they'd get a bit runny and they'd get a bit lovely. Quick update on the flapjacks. They were still really crumbly. They were still really crumbly. I was really sad by that. So sad by that. I think my suspicions were right. I just did not put enough golden syrup in them, which you live, you learn, you have fails in life, and you learn from them. So that was a fail on the sweet treat, but did I have leftovers? So I've actually got all of this left, which is pretty good going if you ask me. That's pretty much half full. Turns out I had even more leftovers than I thought, so that's another green tick. I think I ate really, really well. Really, really well throughout the entire day. Tesco's been great. What can I say? Tesco has been really, really great. I have a lot of other ones to get through, a lot of other supermarkets. So let me know in the comments below which supermarkets you'd like to see me do next. I'm thinking of going to Iceland next week, because I've never done Iceland before, and that could be quite interesting. Possibly not going to get much, but who knows? Who knows? I don't think I've ever actually shopped in Iceland, so that's going to be a really interesting, fun one for me. Tesco, you've been great. Big up Tesco. Always big up Tesco. I shop there most days anyway. Probably my most frequented store. But yeah, this was fun. Not much more to say. This was fun. I enjoyed it. It was good.